Maybe I was a little too quick to mistrust Enda, but this new character. Hello and welcome back to the couch. We saved you a seat. My name is Luke and today we're checking out chapter 4 of Fugitive Telemetry. Yes, this is the 6th book in the Murderbot Diaries series. We've been doing chapter by chapter reactions and reviews. If you want to follow along, use the link in the description of this bio. You can buy the book via Amazon. It supports the channel and you can be up to date on all the new videos. Also, if you want to continue to support the channel, we have a membership. It's $2 a month and it really just gets, me a cup of coffee. It's really just to help out. You might get a couple of videos early. You'll be notified. I'll set it to members only and you can see a couple of videos early. But most of them will be book videos. But let's get started. All right. Okay. So we have this new character, this special investigator. Investigator Aileen? Aylin? I think it's Aylin. This character seems pretty smart. There's a moment there where it questions if Murderbot is the one who did all of this. And then we have maybe my favorite all-time page in the book. And maybe my favorite all-time page in any of the Murderbot books. It's page 62. Go back and reread page 62. It's hilarious. It's hilarious because Murderbot makes a joke. And it's funny. If I told you, I might have to tell you where I hid all the dead bodies. And immediately, Gruthred and Rati are like, oh boy, bad choice. Maybe we don't do that. It's pretty funny. It's a joke that he wouldn't have told, or it wouldn't have told in chapters prior, in books prior. It wouldn't have said it out loud. This is the level of freedom that we're talking about. The addition of the humanity. It's great. It's great. Someone mentioned in the comments, one of the best parts about this book is that we're watching Murderbot have to deal with now human freedom restrictions. You don't get to just hack a system. You don't get to just do other things. Oh, and that's something else they think they found is evidence of hacking. Maybe not hacking, evidence of a device, an actual sabotage device. See, what happened is Lutren, they found footage of Lutren getting onto the ship and then never getting off, never leaving, never whatever. So it had to be a hack, right? Or some sort of device. And they determined that it's some sort of device, some sort of sabotage device. And I'll get back to this chapter in a minute, or this page in a minute, because it continues to get better. But they also see that there was some delivery cart that dropped the body in the middle of the promenade, I guess, in the middle of the area where all the people are. I thought that was kind of awesome. That's kind of awesome. We're still, we're about halfway through this book now, I guess. There's still more questions than answers. Like we have a victim. We've got I don't know, a mode of transportation, but we don't have a motive still. We don't have a reason. It could be literally anything. Also, the transport. The transport wasn't from Corporation, they kind of determined. It was from somewhere else. Well, or the device they would have used wasn't from the Corporation ring because the Corporation ring uses hacks specifically. Oh, that was pretty interesting. But yeah, back to this chapter. Actually, my mistake. The other part that I thought was also cool, I messed up on that page, but it's page 54 when Gruthred says, "That's what sec units do. That's their job. Why don't you do your job?" Hilarious when dealing with the, like, I don't know, 3 NPC security people. Right. Thought that was kind of interesting. The first half of this chapter, and we've got one of these like polarizing chapters. The first half of this chapter was pretty good too. We've got the two of them, Gruthred and Rati, kind of running surveillance / covering cameras / giving pointers to Murderbot as Murderbot attempts to get onto the transport. Murderbot gets on the transport. And they escort him on. It's really just so Murderbot has witnesses from that point on, so that they know that Murderbot's not doing anything super, super crazy, because feeds can be hacked, feeds can be changed. And so now there's 2 witnesses, and Murderbot goes through, and it's dingy and gross, and it's obvious that this is where the murder happened. But I think, ooh boy, I might have messed that up. Either way, the whole ship component with Reti and Gruthrin was great. So we have really 3 parts of this chapter. 1, them getting onto the transport and noticing that this is probably where it happened. I also learned a new word in this one. What was it called? Quiescent? Yeah, it was called quiescent, meaning in a state of inactivity or dormancy. I don't know that I've ever used that word. I'd never even read that word, I don't think. It's a good word. It's a good word. I don't know how I'll incorporate it in my life, but it's a cool word. Anyway, this place, we're quiescent. We're quiescent. And that was kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so the 3 sections are, they walk into the ship, they deal with the security NPCs in Murderbot, and Reti and Gruthrin just kind of own them, which is hilarious. But then Inda shows up, and Inda shows up with Aileen, who is a brain. Aileen is a brain. Special investigator Aileen. Pretty smart. Pretty smart. We end the chapter with them deciding that they're going to be looking for the cart for DNA, any sort of samples, but they know that might be fruitless because whomever this was knows that they can clean DNA. So like from the previous chapter, right, with the clothes. So it's probably not that. What they do have is they have the ID of the ship that's supposed to take its cargo, our transport that we're at currently. We have the idea of the next ship where it's supposed to take cargo from this one to this one, right? So they're going to go to that ship, and it's in the private docks. But the interesting part was Inda told Aileen, take Sec Unit. That was it. That was the moment that my skepticism was lifted. That maybe Inda isn't that big a deal. Inda doesn't like Aileen either. Like, that was it right there. That was it. Aileen is smart. Sec Unit, super resourceful. Inda has trust issues. That's where it draws the line right there. Inda doesn't really know Sec Unit. But Sec Unit has the trust of Minsa, Gruthrin, all these other people. We don't know anything about Aileen. But it feels like Inda doesn't necessarily like Ailyn. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It'll be the 2 of them going to the private dock. Now, private docks are interesting. Are there any cameras? We don't know. I don't think there's going to be. But yeah, we're about halfway through this book. Not halfway, a little less than halfway. And there's only 4 chapters left. So we're going to be reading a lot here in the next couple of days. Hoping that we get a little bit of confrontation. Who knows? You know, private docks are weird. Private docks are interesting, right? Maybe there's operations happening on Preservation that they don't know about, that Minsa doesn't know about. Maybe. Who knows? I think that would be kind of fun, for me at least, if in this book we find out that there's things happening out of the private docks at Preservation and non-corporate places where things are happening secretly. And they do it under the guise of peace and freedom and all rights. They do all of their evil deeds, these other entities, under the guise of that. Because that kind of feels like it's within this group, right? Greed has been mainly the bad guy of this entire series so far. And if Greed continues, then we would have some of that in here somewhere. And I'm thinking that's how we kind of get to the point where we have organizations that are operating outside of the corporation rim in these other places so they can transport stuff further out and get more stuff and further out. And I don't think Minsa would be on the she wouldn't be on the rub for that. But anyway, this is a good chapter. We had 2 pretty good pages, and Gruthrin hilarious backing up. That's what Sec Units do, you numbskulls. NPCs, man. We all know people who are NPCs. We all have personality traits when you become an NPC. An NPC, for those who don't know, is a non-playable character in a video game. When you communicate to them, they have scripted words, and it's like, hello, good sir. What can I ail you with today? They have a very specific way of going. When you go to, let's say you check out at a grocery store. Right, you're checking out, and they're scanning your stuff, and you just hear whatever their scripted words are. That's NPC stuff, right? You're the main character in their story right now too. right? Because they're just focused on making sure to get you in and out, and you are the focus. So that's NPC kind of stuff. It happens all over. We all have it. I'm not pointing out grocery store it doesn't matter. But yeah, love that. Love when they have those characters and then our main characters just are like, you suck. It's hilarious. Anywho, we're gonna try to get back tomorrow or next week with more Murderbot. I'm pretty excited to see what happens at the private dock and see what's going on. Maybe we are running weapons. Maybe we are running the alien material through preservation. Maybe preservation is actually a strategic point in the system. We'll see. But once again, if you like this content, please like and subscribe and share. Buy the book or just use the Amazon link and buy something else. It helps out the channel. We love your support. We're pretty close to 1,000 subscribers. I think 15 away at this point. So tell your friends about Murderbot. I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Do you like this series? Is this something that you intend on continuing to read as more books come out? But I think that's all we've got. Oh, memberships, obviously. Once again, just to help me. Don't become a member if you don't want to help me. But if you want to, that'd be great. Regardless, I think that's all I've got. So until next time, later, taters.